You're getting your creative work done, but your connection to your creativity has never been shakier. Give me the next few minutes and I'll show you the move that will ensure your connection to your creativity stays strong and vibrant so it can actually support you getting your creative work done. And if you want our self-stewardship journaling prompt that will help you keep your connection to your creativity and to yourself strong, drop prompt below and I'll DM it to you. I'm Christine Karen, founder of Good Jelly. I work with people who care deeply about their creative work, and I help them make progress that's not just reliable, but inevitable. So many people with creative work get that work done in a way that weakens their connection to their creativity. That old school productivity approach says that's a cost that must be paid to be productive, that real professionals will keep going anyway. So people keep pushing harder, like a novelist sitting down to write, opening her to-do list, picking the hardest thing on it because that's how she's gotten things done everywhere else in her life, and slogging through the work. She checks that task off the list. Sure, it took longer than she wanted, and the writing felt flat, but she ignores that because what else can she do? This is how real work gets done. So she picks the next hardest thing and then the next, always the hard things because that's the rule. 1 week goes by, then another, then it's a year later and the first draft still isn't done and she doesn't know why because she's been doing the hard things. And even worse, she doesn't feel connected to the story anymore or to the reason why it felt so important to write in the first place. Creative work needs you to have a strong connection to your creativity. That is not a nice to have, it's essential. Without it, creative work starts to feel like assembly line work instead of feeling like you're creating something vital, something meaningful. The old school productivity paradigm says losing that connection is acceptable as long as you're still churning out work. That makes it inherently incompatible with the creative process. There is a way to get creative work done without sacrificing your connection to your creativity or to yourself in the process. And it starts with this. Instead of asking, what's the hardest thing I can force myself to do right now? You ask, what would actually move this work forward while keeping me connected to it? That's a completely different standard because now you're not treating yourself like a machine that just executes tasks. You're recognizing that the quality of the work depends on the state of the person doing it. And that means how you show up to the work. Your attention, your energy, your connection is not separate from the work. It is part of the work. You are the instrument and the work has to be played through you. That's what I call embodied stewardship. At its heart, embodied stewardship is about shifting the way you get your creative work done out of harshness and into spaciousness. The old way is harshness. It is about meeting an output above all standard. You have to work as if you don't matter, as if your connection to your creativity doesn't matter, as if even reality doesn't matter. It teaches people that if they're distracted or only have 45 minutes or are just tired, they have to ignore that and try to force themselves into some ideal version of how they should be working. So they say, I should be able to do 3 hours of deep work right now, even though their actual life in the moment doesn't support that. Embodied stewardship offers a different path, one where you, your creativity, and reality have room to breathe. Instead of forcing work forward, you adjust the way you're working to match what's actually true. Here's what that looks like in practice. like a writer in our program who was recovering from an illness. Instead of pushing herself to do her normal 2 daily writing sessions, she decided to only have 1 per day for a while. That supported her recovering faster and ensured she could still make progress on her book without relapsing. Or the musician who realized that staying in both his practice groups was no longer possible while he and his wife had a new baby at home. He chose the one that was benefiting him the most. He was able to maintain a solid practice schedule and support his family the way he wanted. Or the filmmaker who said yes less often to reviewing his peers' works in progress in order to protect his own creative time. All these moves were about creating more spaciousness by working with themselves instead of against. When they stopped overriding themselves and reality, they were able to make better decisions, hold their priorities for their creative work more effectively, and protect their connection to their creativity. This works because when you practice embodied stewardship, you're still moving the work forward, but you're doing it in a way that keeps you connected to it. When you stop overriding yourself, you stop breaking the connection your creative work depends on. And remember, if you want the self-stewardship journaling prompt that will help you keep your connection to your creativity and to yourself strong, drop prompt below and I'll DM it to you.